Why is Donald Trump, the former reality TV show star, billionaire businessman, and widely controversial candidate for president, so popular with millions of Americans? Hated by millions more, he's likely now to be the Republican Party nominee, bucking the entire party establishment, which cannot control him. Experts say his ascendancy is unique in American politics and taps into deep-seated anger with the direction of the country, mostly from working-class whites, but also other groups who feel left out of the economic recovery from the historic downturn in 2008.
Certainly, a big part of it is frustrated, downscale white Americans feel like opportunities have been shut off to them that used to be open to them. The financial crisis obviously has still lingered on in many ways. Our percentage of people working in the labor force is still low, even though our unemployment rate is better. So there's a lot of economic frustrations. There's also more cultural anxieties that he's clearly tapping into. The shape and color of America is changing, and that upsets some people for sure.
Trump appeals to fanatically loyal supporters and observers who study U.S. politics because he promises an America of a bygone era.
We used to think of America as an essentially white Christian country. It is no longer that. And within several decades, it will no longer even be a white majority any longer. So the people who are in that shrinking white majority are fearful of what America is going to become. And so if they see somebody, some candidate who tells them, I'm going to make America great once again, they say, well, you know, that's somebody I really can support.
If the Republican Party is forced to nominate him as their candidate, can Trump prevail against the likely Democratic candidate, Hillary Clinton? Experts say anything can happen, but winning the White House in a general election is a far different thing than winning a party nomination.
I think he would have a very hard time beating Hillary. You can't win an election when you don't have anybody but white men with you. Never would you have a candidate who has so few people of color, any color, who are going to be for him, and that's very significant.
I think there's a good chance, of course, if he enters the general election, he will be an underdog to Hillary Clinton. Most people think he has about a -30 net favorability rating right now. Right now, 6 in 10 Americans say they don't like Donald Trump. So it's hard to see how democracy puts him in the White House just yet.
With most Americans, Trump brings out emotional feelings of loyal support or outright rejection, to deep revulsion of his harsh rhetoric and often divisive comments about domestic and foreign issues. A quick sample of opinion on the street bears that out.
You know, a number of folks, I think, if you were to ask them, would say that the nation, they'd ask the question, is America out of order? And I think my thought on that is going to take a tough man to help us get back to where America needs to be.
So a lot of the hate that Trump is even speaking comes out of Obama's presidency.
You know, I think he's charismatic. He's charismatic and he gets people's attention, but I think people are frustrated with politicians, especially, you know, after what happened with the shutdown and just Congress doesn't, you know, is struggling to get things done. So he's saying enough of this, but he doesn't have anything to back himself up. You know, his plan is lacking, but it's made for interesting circus.
And he's quite personable, as much as he's brash and says a lot of outlandish things. There's a certain charisma there, which I think some of the alternatives possibly don't have. And he seems to have that factor in his favor.
I think Donald Trump is a demagogue. I think the rhetoric he uses is not positive. I think it's taking away from the serious issues Americans have to look at.